Next thing that we'll add is the ability to update a resource. So let's first create a route for that again. So in our API routes file, let's add the update action here. And in our TaskController, let's set up the update method. Just like with the store action, we're gonna add a request class for this. So instead of a store task request, we will now add an update task request, and we will authorize this one as well. And for the validation rules, we'll add validation again for the title field. So in this case, the title, we expect that sometimes, meaning that we can leave it out of the request and only validate it when it is present, and otherwise it's going to be required, and still it needs to have a maximum amount of characters of 255. And for is done, we also expect this sometimes, so we can also leave that out of the request if we only want to change the title. And this will be a boolean. And just like what we did before, we now gonna need to add is done to the fillable fields. And with that, let's head back to our task controller. In here, we gonna need to use the update task request, and instead of getting the ID from the route, we are gonna use the route model binding again. So we directly get the task in here. First validate the request. So once again, we'll make sure that we only get the validated data. And next we're gonna update the task with the data that we just received. And we will return again the task resource, the updated task resource. All right, let's head back to Postman and see how this performs. So I will add a new request in Postman, and this is gonna be a put request, and the task ID will be 3 in this case. So that will be this resource, for which we set the title to wait for my grades. So let's send a put request. Now let's not make the same mistake again, and first add the accept header. Now in our request body, we are gonna add JSON, and let's set this task to done. So we need is done here and set that to true. Send the request, and now in the response we see that this task is set to true. And we can also change the title to register for the resit. And we see that the title changes too. If we try to set the title to null, so send the request, you would notice that we get a validation error. So before, this field was not validated because we did not pass it into the request, and it was also not changed. But now that we try to set it to null, the title field is actually in the request and gets validated, and we don't allow this field to be null using our validation rules. I hope to see you in the next video.